Man, it's your boy TTA and I just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard. Ooh, killer.
Yeah, that money talk, till you hear that. This that Lux talk, talking big racks. I'm with chicken talk,
Yes, sir, yes, sir. We right back at it, y'all. We got the one and only TTA jumping off the porch with us today. What's up, bro? How you feeling?
What's going on, man? I feel blessed, man. I'm all right.
Yes, sir. That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. Great to have you here, bro. Appreciate you pulling up on us, man. Chill on the porch and chop up game with us.
For sure. Let's do it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So TTA, man, you coming to us straight from Tampa, right?
Yes, sir. 813, baby. 813.
That's what's up, man. And first of all, how Atlanta been treating you so far?
Oh, good, man. I love Atlanta, man. They're like my second home, really.
Okay, word. So you make it down here often? You be in the mix here?
Yeah, for sure.
Word, I can dig it. And is it like how people say, people talk about, coming to Atlanta, they love the vibe because of how, you go to the studios and everybody working with each other and it's just that type of energy. Like, do you feel that when you come here?
Yeah, I definitely do. It's definitely love compared to Florida. You know what I mean? Like, Florida's kind of hard, getting that vibe like how Atlanta is.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't nowhere close. I'm gonna just keep it real with you. Like, Atlanta, it's real love. Every time I come, you know what I'm saying, they embrace me. It's like I'm from here.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah. Nah, for real. That real hospitality, for real.
Big facts.
Nah, I can dig it. And what part of Tampa you from?
Tampa, Florida, Silver Spring, man. I'm from the north side.
Okay. And for those that don't know, like, how can you break down the north side of Tampa? Like, what can you tell us about that we don't know?
The north side is pretty much, every side got hustlers and all that, but the north side, I feel like we more smooth, more like, they might get me for this, but I feel like the north side, we really like the big dogs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Other than West Tampa, they the big dogs too, but north side, man, we more like, we ain't shiesty, really, you know what I'm saying? Like, we show love to all the sides more than the other side show love to everybody else.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna just say that. We more like, it's more love in the north side, you know what I'm saying? We show love.
Got you. And Tampa, is it one of those things where you can kind of automatically know, like, where a cat is from by, like, his lingo or,
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you definitely can. But to be honest, all of us got the same lingo.
Yeah.
But every side got their own swag. It's like you could tell, like, man, he from the Springs or he from West Tampa, you know what I'm saying? Or he from over east. Like the way they carry themselves, everybody definitely dress alike on their sides. So you definitely can pick it out.
Oh, okay.
You definitely can point it out.
Word. No, that's what's up, man. And what was it like for you, coming up in Tampa? What was it like for you growing up, bro?
It was fun. I'm gonna just say it was fun, man. A lot of course, as a jit, you know what I'm saying, getting in a lot of trouble, you know what I'm saying, you know how I go, you just being a kid, you know what I'm saying. It wasn't really rough. I wouldn't say rough. Most people would say it was rough, but I wouldn't say it was rough. Maybe because I guess we were just used to what was going on, so it really wasn't rough to us. It was just regular life.
Yeah, no, for real. Yeah, because a lot of times when we coming up in these environments, it's like, it's just regular, you know what I'm saying? But like you bring somebody from the outside in, and their eyes gonna be wide open, they gonna be shocked.
Facts. Yeah, definitely how it goes.
Just like a lot of times, like we'll grow older and be like, damn, I didn't even realize I was poor when I was little, because me and all my partners was kind of going through the same stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're like me. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna say I was in a poor family, but like my mama, she like worked like 3 jobs.
Okay.
Like my pops was like in and out.
Yeah.
And what's crazy, when he was in and out, when he was out, he was in Atlanta.
Ah, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But other than that, like my mama worked 3 jobs. So I was like a bad jit, just outside. Most jits had to come in for the street light. I was just outside.
Word.
I just had to beat my mama back in the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Type up, but my older sister, they'll tell on me or whatever. But just normal stuff like that. But so I wouldn't say I was poor. I got what I wanted.
Yeah.
Of course, some things I couldn't get. You know what I mean? Other kids, I'm gonna be honest with you. Some kids had like 4 or 5 pair of shoes. I probably got 2 pair of shoes for the school year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I felt like we was poor, but but thinking about it now, I don't feel like I was poor.
Yeah,
you know
no, it's real. Because a lot of times, and I mean, you just breaking down your mom's just that quick with saying she had 3 jobs.
Facts.
I could tell that she was the type of person where having 4-5 pair of shoes just
Yeah.
wasn't important. You know what I mean? It was about so again, like when we younger and we seeing our partners having things, you know, you want those things too. But then as we get older and start to realize, like, damn, okay, like that wasn't even the most important thing.
Facts.
You know
I had a roof over my head.
For sure. And I'm sure just seeing your mom's work so hard just instilled some other things in you too, for you to work hard and be on that same tip.
Agreed.
Word. And so, you know, with mom's working so much, pops being kind of in and out, do you feel like that forced you to kind of grow up a little faster? Did you feel like you had to kind of be the man of the house? Or?
I felt like that. So I ain't gonna lie, you know, every kid gonna feel this way, you know what I'm saying, when your pops in and out. I felt kind of neglected. So I always had this anger built inside of me, you know what I'm saying? So anytime he do come, all the other siblings, they'll be happy, oh, he back. But I was the hard hitter, like, I'm outside. I go out the door. He like, get back in here. You don't just see me here? Like, man, nigga, you ain't here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I ain't care. Like, I was bad. I was a troublemaker. But, I don't know, man.
Word.
That's a touchy subject right there.
Yeah, I can dig it. And with your siblings, you the oldest, youngest?
No, I'm in the middle.
Okay.
I'm dead smack in the middle. I had a couple sisters, a couple brothers.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I might have some more out there, I don't know, with my pop.
Pop was a rolling stone.
Yeah, facts.
Word. And so then, within that, was it like were you and your brothers and sisters like really close and holding each other down like while mom was?
To be honest, I was kind of like my own person. Like I loved, you know what I'm saying, brother, sister, whatever. But I really was just, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna handle this. I'm gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? I had that mindset always. Like I thought ahead. You know what I'm saying? I did take some things from my daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like I watched him. Like he wasn't no. I ain't gonna really say he was a deadbeat. He was just in and out. You know, they were having problems. You know what I'm saying? We young, we don't know that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he handled business. He'll send money. He'll come. So I ain't gonna really say he was no deadbeat. He just was in and out. But as a jit, I'm looking like, this nigga don't want us. Like,
right.
You know
as a kid, we don't never understand that. It's like all we want is that love. And we
just want to see him. We just want to be in the same household.
Yeah, for sure.
You know
but then as we grow older and then as men, we start to realize, like, you know, have somewhat of an understanding of, okay, you know, like shit, Pops might have had to get it how he lived, you know what I mean? And we go through some of those trials and tribulations ourselves, you know what I mean?
Facts. Agreed.
So at an early age, where were you pulling influence from?
Man, that's tough. To be honest with you, man, I looked at like some of my friends' households, like school, sports, my coaches.
Okay.
So I just had to pull from anything that was positive.
Yeah.
Anything that felt good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was some things that was bad, but it felt good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was just everywhere, man. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to figure it out.
And was sports your main thing coming up?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, every sport, man. I ain't care. Soccer, baseball, football, basketball, track, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I just did anything to keep my mind, you know what I'm saying, on the street, because I knew I didn't want to be in the streets and doing crazy stuff, but, you know.
And was entertainment always something that you wanted to get into? Was the music, acting, things like that always something?
No, not really. I was always sports. I wanted to go to the NBA or whatever, but it came to like, I would tell you my problem, man. It was them girls, man. Them girls, I was just distracted, man. I played the sports, but I ain't take it serious. I had scholarships and all, man.
Okay,
basketball, track, but I ain't take it serious. To this day, my mama's still mad.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't take it serious. Like, I just did it because everybody else was doing it.
Yeah. And what sports did you have scholarship offers
basketball
from?
and track.
Okay. Yeah. And did you pursue any of them? Did you go to college?
Nah, I just, like I said, the women, then I ended up having a kid, my first son, and I just was wild, man. I just wanted to party, you know what I'm saying? I was young, you know what I'm saying? And then what's crazy, I'm watching my daddy in and out, so I felt like that came into me. I was like all over the place, so I ain't had no structure, you know what I'm saying? Like my mama, she can't raise a boy.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So like
it's
my
only
daddy
so
wasn't
much
there,
a woman can do in raising a man.
Facts,
and I think at a certain age, it get to the point where, I mean, if you didn't seen a certain amount of things, or if you've seen things a certain way, it's only so much mama can tell you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Agreed. And then there's some stuff you can't really tell your mama that you would want to tell your daddy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Certain stuff you can't really talk about. You can't talk about girls to your mama, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I was stuck at. But Pop's good though. He the big dog, man.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He corrected his wrongs, you
Nah,
feel me? So
that's
he
what's
definitely,
up.
and he taught me how to correct my wrongs.
That's what's
also,
up.
you know what I'm saying? I had to
Yeah.
forgive myself for hating him and forgive him and
Yeah.
for me to get back on the path and on the right track.
That's what's
you know
up, bro. And you just said something, bro, because that's like a huge part of growth
Nah, facts.
and a level of being a man that a lot of men don't even know or understand.
Facts.
Is where you can actually forgive somebody even if they were in the wrong.
Facts.
And you still know they were in the wrong. But to be able to take that weight off of your shoulders,
Telling you,
you
it's
know what I
tough.
mean?
It's
Like,
tough.
yeah, that's a tough thing, but that level you up. You know what I mean?
Facts. Agree. Because some stuff like that, it can hold you back too. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So you can't go forward till you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had to get that up off me and in a good
Yeah.
place,
Nah,
man.
that's
Pop,
real.
that's my dog. No, that's my dog.
No, that's
man.
real, bro. I can relate to that because I've had a situation where like my pops was never there for me.
Right,
I just met him a couple of years ago, and the relationship in the beginning was harsh from my end. You
Facts,
know what I mean?
facts.
I wasn't trying to let up for nothing.
Facts.
Just
You had a
like-
grudge.
Yeah,
a big
a
grudge.
heavy grudge. But then as I was getting into more of my healing process, I realized that the only way that I could even take some steps forward would be to forgive him,
Facts.
even if I still feel like he
Yeah.
was wrong,
Facts.
but to take that weight off of me so that I
Facts.
could manifest and bring some other good things to my life that I want. You know
Facts.
what I
We
mean?
on the same page.
Yeah,
same page.
nah, real spill.
Yes,
Nah,
sir.
that's real. So at what point did you like catch the music bug? At what point did you know that was something you wanted to tap into?
When I caught the music, I'm gonna be honest. I was watching MTV Jams one day, and the video came on, Boom Thugs and Harmony, Crossroads.
Okay, yeah.
And like, I don't know what it was at that young age. I don't know. I think I was like 9 or 10. That's when it struck my interest. I wasn't taking it serious, but
Yeah.
I just was like in front of the TV. You know how your mom's like, get in front of the TV before you go blind. But I was like so close to the TV. I was just amazed by that video.
Yeah.
And I liked the way they was rapping fast. I was like, dang, I want to rap like that. So I used to just mock. I didn't know what they were saying. I was just mumbling.
Yeah.
And it sounded good to me. You feel me? I just played with it. Then as I
Yeah.
got older, I just played with it. All my friends, family, they were like, man, you actually kind of sound good. And I just laughed off like, man, y'all crazy. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I ain't really take it serious at that time. You know what I'm saying? But when I really took it serious was, I think I was about 22 years old.
Okay.
And I actually was in Thomasville, Georgia. That's where all my family from.
Okay.
I was in Thomasville, and I was like, man, I ain't doing that with my life. Like, I just randomly like, man, I'm just out here trying to sell drugs and make a quick dollar. Like,
Yeah.
I ain't doing nothing. Going to parties, like, man, I need something. So I just said, let me tap back in with this music thing, and then, you know what I'm saying? That's when it started rolling in and hitting me. Like,
Okay.
I started taking it serious then.
Word. And so at that point, was it a matter of going to the studio and recording? Was it, picking up the notebook and going crazy with the writing? Like, how'd you really?
It was kind of both. You know what I'm saying? I went to the studio, and to be honest with you, a lot of people don't know as an artist, you can sound good rapping out loud to your homeboy, but when that's in that studio, that's a whole nother world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when I went in there, I was like, damn, this might not be for me.
Yeah.
I can't catch. You gotta get certain pitches or certain.
Yeah, you gotta find your voice and
right,
all that.
fact. So I kind of struggled with that, but
Yeah.
I found it so quick. I don't know, man. That's when I used to be hanging around with Roscoe Dash
Okay.
back then.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was a part of a label, and we was affiliated with them, going on shows and stuff. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like, I was like, dang, I was watching him. Like, I performed, but when I watched him, I was like, damn, they love him. Like, I was like, man, I want that.
Yeah.
Like, when I performed with him at GSU College, I said, I want that. That's when I knew I really wanted that music, that day right there. I
Word.
said, I want that.
That's what's up.
I
And
want
you
that.
saw like how the fans was gravitating to
Facts.
him,
Facts.
sure rapping his words.
Facts. And he let me on stage with him and everything, so I'm like, they grabbing me, they don't know who I am yet. You
Yeah.
feel? I say, oh yeah, I want this,
Yeah.
man. I love this feeling. You know what I'm
Word.
saying?
And so like the first couple of songs that you was recording and everything, like did you catch on like pretty fast with it?
I actually did. The first song I did a remix to what it was, the Travis Porter, Make It Rain. I did a remix to Make It Rain
Okay.
in Thomasville, Georgia. It became like one of the biggest songs in Thomasville.
Word.
I put their name in and everything. It was like crazy.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, it was crazy. It got thousands of views on there. Like, I don't know where it's at right now, but back then when I first dropped it,
Yeah.
it was like I had like 7,000. I remember I had like 7,000 views or something like that in like a week. I was like, dang, I'm a jit. So 7,000 views, I'm like, that's a lot
Right, hell
back
yeah.
then, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So that's when I was like, right, fact, MySpace days, you feel me? So I was like, dang, this is crazy. This just like a freestyle. This ain't even my song. I just rapped on the beat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And were you like, were you trying to, or how can I say this? Did you maintain like your Florida style and
See, that's what made me stand out, cause I had that Florida, Georgia. I was back and forth from Tampa to Thomasville, so I had that Florida water, and I had that country accent blended together. So that made me a totally different person from anybody who was in Georgia and anybody who was from Tampa.
Yeah.
So I had that blended, and I found my own little sound. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of mocked my favorite artist, you know what I'm saying? TTA, that's my favorite
Okay,
rapper, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Everybody used to always say, man, you sound like Tip, but with a little harmony in it a little bit. So I had to find my own, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My own swag.
Word. And who are some of your other influences in music? Like who else, when you was coming up, were you listening to and rocking with?
Bone Thugs for one, from that video, you know what I'm saying? T.I.
Hey, okay, so when you mentioned when you mentioned the Bone Thugs video, I was gonna ask you too, man. Like, was I the only person that was spooked out, man, when they did the Uncle Charles part and he touched his head and his eyes turned black, bro?
This was crazy. I was spooked, but I still was interested. Like, I don't know why. I say this scaring me right now, but I'm loving it. At the same time, it was just weird.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it definitely spooked me though. But it was just interesting. It was a different video from everything else, because every other video was just like females, cars, and that video really had like depth and details. It was like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it was a message in the song,
right? It had
a message in the video. Like,
that's me.
everything.
That's how I am. I'm very detailed with everything I do. They'll tell you.
Yeah.
Me putting on my clothes, my shoestring can have a spot on it. I got to switch shoes. I'm very detailed.
Yeah.
They'll tell you that. I'm very detailed with everything I do. Cooking, everything, movies, everything.
I can dig it.
You know
And
what
at
I'm
one point, did you actually release your first song?
My own song, correct?
Yeah.
We did a song. It was called My City. Thomasville. That was 2010, 2011.
Okay.
And it went big.
Yeah.
Like, it went big. And then my next one was called Superman High with a man, Bankroll Banks. We dropped that video, and actually, Young Drew, he retweeted it.
Yeah.
And he was like, shout out to the Superman High boys. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? That Twitter was something, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So around that time, it was like 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's when I really
Word.
got a little
And what
buzz.
was the reception like when you first started dropping?
It was good. It was like crazy. Like they was mocking like my ad libs. Like back then, I used to be like, it's TTA. They still say it. We just left our cousin. We just met up with him like a couple hours ago. He stay in the A.
Okay.
And as soon as he pulled up, he told me, it's TTA. Like everybody, like it leave a mark. You know what I'm saying? I always did catchy stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I leave a mark with everybody.
Nah, that's what they
You know
do.
what I'm saying?
And so, you know, through the years, recording music, releasing music, what were some of the like welcome to the music industry moments, you know, that you had? Because it's a difference when, you know, you got a love for the music and for the culture, and you in it for the art, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But then when you transition to doing it and stepping into the business side of it, and you doing it to, you know, to try to make a bottom line from it, and you know, all that, it get a little different, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So like, what were some of those like moments or some of those things that you saw where you was like, damn, okay, I'm really in the music business?
Facts. When it really hit me, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I ran into Goldmouf, Famgoon, you know what I'm saying, Rollo them, we ran into him at the club, and the guy, he was my manager at the time. He was like, hey man, you gotta meet Goldmouf, you know what I'm saying? He in the club right now. So I'm like, who's Goldmouf? He was like, man, you know Jeezy. Jeezy was like, Goldmouf did 10, I wish Goldmouf was home. I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, but still, who he is, you feel me? And then he introduced me to him, and what's crazy, it's like, he even told, he like, man, I don't know, I see something in you, like, he bonded with me, he was fresh out. I think he did like 10 or 20, I can't remember the amount, 10 or 15 years to the door, something like that. And he like embraced me, and he was like, hey, I'm a rock with you, I'm gonna help you out, you feel me? I don't know, it's just something about you.
Yeah.
You know, I heard that all my years with somebody gonna help me. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But he really pulled me in and like, you know what I'm saying, sat me down and I seen a couple things, been around a couple people, he had me around, you know what I'm saying? TTA, Boosie, all of them. I got to actually see these people who I look up to.
Right.
And that was, to me, that was my welcome to the music business. And then paperwork, boom. I'm like, oh yeah, this for real now. This for real. So
Yeah.
I had my little joint venture with him, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Trap Elite, Famgoon, you know what I'm saying? I still rock with them boys, Rollo and all of them.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
He out now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But
for sure.
Goldmouf really like, was the first person who really like took me serious.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And to this day, you know what I'm saying? He rock with me like a
That's
little
what's
brother.
up, man. Because a lot of people's welcome to the music industry moments are usually negative.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So for you to,
I ain't been there yet. It might
Yeah.
be coming. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But as of now, I'm good.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
nah, that's what's up. We're gonna knock
Only
on wood.
thing bad that I had like with the music is like a lot of management.
Okay, yeah.
I had management, man, that was like using me. I didn't know at the time. They was, you know what I'm saying, pushing me up, and we got in front of like, man, I done had deals on the table, all kind of stuff. But when I got there, the managers wanted to be the artist.
Yeah.
So they presented themselves and kicked me to the side. And guess what? The labels was like, no, we want who you presented to us. Now they stuck and call them, hey, they want you now. I already done peeped your game. I'm out of here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I fall back. So I was back and forth, in and out, because of that. Management
Gotcha.
was my downfall, to be
Okay.
honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, good management, good representation is definitely
It's everything.
hard to find. Yeah,
It's
and-
hard, man. It's very, very hard.
And it is everything. Like on the tip of like it can open doors for you. You
Facts.
know what I mean? It can get you in the right rooms,
Facts,
or
facts.
it could close doors for you.
Facts,
you know,
facts.
so super important. Now, can you talk to me about the latest song that you released, Money Talk, featuring Goldenboy Countup?
Yeah, man. That's a real Florida song right now, man. I
Yeah.
wanted to go different with something, so I switched it up. Like, you know, I want to start getting more involved with Florida artists. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause right now, man, Atlanta, y'all killing it, man.
Yeah.
I need Florida like that. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
yeah, how that came about? My manager, Jay the Boss, he actually cool with them.
Okay.
You know, and his team, and he actually, you know, have them booked at certain shows. So we did a couple shows together. So I'm like, man, what's up, man? Let's do a song with Golden. He rocked with me. We met up in Orlando. You know what I'm saying? Did the feature. I ain't gonna lie. He was like, man, I ain't gonna lie, you hard. He was like, you hard. He said, dang, he heard my verse. He was like, I gotta go hard. You went
Yeah.
hard. You feel me? You different. He said, I like your. He said, it's your sound. I get that a lot. You know what I'm saying? My sound. Like I'm different. You know, everybody say they different, but I just got a unique style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I might sound like somebody a little bit, but it's my swag. You know what I'm saying? But you might, you know what I'm saying, separate it like that. But Goldenboy, he cool. You know what I'm saying? We did a couple shows together. And,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Made a bag together and stuff like that.
Word.
You know what
Nah,
I'm
that's
saying?
what's up. And
But
I
I ain't want to leech off nobody or
Yeah.
ride nobody wave. You know what I'm saying? He gave me that, you know what I'm saying, that love. Hey, you hard. You know what I'm saying? You gonna do your thing. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know, still.
Word. And then I seen Tia Kemp had posted you on her IG, like with
Aunt
dancing,
T.
singing your song and all that.
Man, I love Aunt T, man. Aunt
Licking
T.
her teeth.
Hey, Aunt T, Aunt T. Everybody say Aunt T crazy. I love
Yo.
Aunt T, man.
It just tripped me out that she be licking her teeth so much, bro. Like,
Hey, I be seeing the negative comments, man. I can't say not one negative thing about Aunt T. Aunt T love me.
Yeah.
Every time she see me, she'll call my manager. Hey, Jay, I'm in Jacksonville. What TT at? That's what
Yeah.
she called me. What
Right.
TT at? She want me to come hang out with, man.
Yeah.
Aunt T love me, man.
I
She
seen
some
like
real
you
love.
performed at like I think it was like a car and bike show or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
and-
yeah. I think we was in where we was at? Gainesville. We was in Gainesville.
Okay.
No, actually we was in Ocala first, and then we drove all the way to Gainesville for the nighttime.
Okay, yeah,
So we
I
was with
think
her
I s-
2 events in one night,
Yeah.
and we did another one with her. Like I rock with Auntie. Auntie love me. I love Auntie.
Yeah,
Man. She-
word. Nah, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Shout out to your Kemp, Auntie. I love you.
Now I noticed when I saw the Money Talk song that there had been like maybe like a 2 year, 3 year span like that you hadn't been dropping music.
Yeah. That take place back when I was telling you about like the management. I kind of like fell back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, from the music. I was like, dang, I can't. Every manager I get is something. So like, I'm thinking like, dang, is it me or you know what I'm saying? But I know it can't be me because obviously we getting deals and you know what I'm saying. People who want me you know what I'm saying, to rock with them.
Right.
But it's the management, they weren't handling me right, you know what I'm saying? So that's my downfall, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I'm supposed to be stronger than that, you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? You gotta learn from your mistakes and go through stuff, you feel me? Learn how to deal with things.
Yeah.
And I finally learned how to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it definitely won't be that same type of thing, but it definitely knocked me back a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I had cold feet, man, I don't know,
Yeah. Did you find that with dealing with those circumstances, like did it discourage you from wanting to do music?
Yeah, it definitely did. It definitely did. It was like, dang, so it's a cricket game. I know I hear a lot of rappers and stuff say, man, the music game is a dirty game, it's cricket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, dang, I'm trying to get started and it's already messed up already. So like, I can imagine like when I get all the way in there, it's gonna be way worse, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that kind of discouraged me, but I just woke up one day like, man, no, man. I can't let nothing stop me. I ain't never been no quitter. You know what I'm saying? Everything I do, I handle business. You know what I'm saying? So I had to stand on business.
And how'd you pull yourself out of that darkness that you found yourself in?
Man, to be honest with you, man, my kids, man. You know what I'm saying? My son.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got 3 boys, 1 daughter. Like, they actually look up to me. My nieces, my nephews.
Yeah.
Some of them in high school, some of them in middle school. They be playing my son. They be doing TikToks.
Yeah.
You know, that's the wave now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, damn, they. You know what I'm saying? Love my stuff like that. I know it's something. I got to get up out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I ain't trying to work no 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Work for somebody else. I need to do my own thing. You feel me? So I just got that mentality. I always been a boss. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? I just ain't know it at the time. You feel me? So I had to just, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just wake up. Like, okay, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
All those other times, I wasn't ready.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Perfect timing. So I'm
ready.
ready.
For sure.
You know
I mean,
what I'm
timing is everything.
Facts. Everything happened for a reason. That's how I take it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I've had to learn to stop saying, if it would have worked like this, I'd be here. Or if I would have done this, because sometimes that time just wasn't right.
It wasn't your time.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And you might not have even been prepared for the great things that's coming at that time if it would have came there. So you needed that experience to kind of level you out to be like, all right, when this greatness do come, I'm ready for it. And you know what I mean?
Facts. And I felt like it wasn't my time. Now I know it's my time. You know what I'm saying?
And man, I didn't mean to be rude, bro. Can you introduce who you got with you here on the porch, man?
Oh,
you got your peoples here with you?
This my dog, Big Pancho, man. He one of the road managers. You know what I'm saying? Then my son, Mally. Then my son, Kobe. Then my twin cousin right here, Rio. You know what I'm saying? This cousin, Lil D right here, Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Got the family with me, man. That's how I rock.
Man, come on, man. Fam first,
Got
man.
Got to.
Teamwork make the dream work.
Facts.
Man, that's what's up, man. So you mentioned that your kids were a huge, factor in you pulling out of, the negative space that you may have been in to, get back to work and get back to doing what you love.
Right.
What are some things, what are some lessons that you try to instill in your sons, for them moving forward and as they're growing into being men? For me, it was me stopping and going with the music. So I try to, put in them don't never quit. If it's something that you want, go get it. It's gonna always get tough. Anything that you really want, you gonna run into roadblocks and all that, but you just gotta know how to drive around all that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know how to just fight through it. You know what I'm saying? Like my oldest, you know what I'm saying? He going through a couple roadblocks. I ain't gonna really talk about that kind of personal, but he fighting through the roadblocks right now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like quitters, you feel me? Yeah. And like going back, not wanna keep dragging them, you know what I'm saying? I felt like my pops was a quitter. But now that I'm older, he really wasn't. He was just himself. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And he fought through everything, and he back on track. You know what I'm saying? And we been rocking heavy. You know what I'm saying? That's like my dog. That's my right hand.
That's
you feel me?
up.
So all that I used to talk about him, he still bring it up. I was like, man, come on, man. I let it go, man. Let it go now. I don't want to go back now. Leave it alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we good now.
That's what's up, man. You got to approach it like a prize fighter. It's
Facts.
like, yo.
Facts. It ain't going to be easy. I don't want them to think everything just going to be given.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm hard on them sometimes. You feel me? I ain't gonna get it. I'm gonna make you work for it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
For the minor thing, they might want a pair of shoes. All right, go take the trash out. Go do this. You want them shoes? You feel me?
Sure.
I ain't just gonna give it to you.
For sure.
Cause you gonna think everything's supposed to be given to you.
Right.
You know and you gotta go get it.
Yeah, and if you move in that mind frame thinking that things are owed to you,
Facts.
or having like those false pretenses that people owe you something or that you deserve to be given everything. Life gonna slap you in the face.
Man, you gonna be lost out here.
Telling you.
You gonna be lost out here.
There's a lot of people lost out here. That's why you got dudes that be, shit, sleeping on these females' couches or whatever, ain't got shit going, or you know what I mean? Like
and get what? That was me once upon a time. Hey, that was me. I was lost. I thought everything was given. I said, man, I gotta go get it. But
gotta go
never give up. You got to go get it, man. And that's one thing that my dad did teach me. He was always a go-getter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He gonna go get that paper now. He
Yeah.
gonna go get that money.
Word. Now that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So now you into acting as well.
Oh yeah.
And how'd you tap into acting? Where'd that come from?
Man, it's crazy, man. It's what we in April? May what we in April?
Yeah.
I started getting into this acting in December
Okay.
of last year. So what it was like 4 or 5 months, something like that. It's a female, she from Thomasville, named Brittany. She doing movies, she liking like all kind of movies. Like, you know what I'm saying, Tyler Perry stuff, Tubi, Amazon. And I actually hit her up, I was just joking. Like on Facebook, I was like, put me in, coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she was like, you for real? I was like, put me in. But I was really joking. And next thing you know, I get a phone call like 2 hours later. Hey, how you doing? I'm executive. I forgot what he said, but Brittany told me you want to get in the movie. I got a scene for you. I'm like, hell, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, for real? Or like, he like, yeah. Come on, we gotta, you know what I'm saying? Come holler at me. So I said, dang. See me, I'm always a team player. I said, dang, I got a couple of my partners. I can bring my dogs. He was like, yeah, come on. And I actually was supposed to be in the movie. Only say one line, but we were so good that they added, we in like, how many scenes in the movie now? 5 or 6. Yeah, we in like a couple scenes now. Like, you know what I'm saying? The movie is called Enemy of the Church. It actually dropped June 15th in the movie theaters. Okay. So we got into that, and then the dude who was affiliated with that movie reached out to me and said, hey man, I want you to play a rapper in another movie, man. I love your vibe, you feel me? And my dog Perfect, he said, I rock with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I want you to come get a movie. I said, okay, cool. And then I messed around and stumbled with somebody in Tampa. He actually big. He actually did the movie that everybody love on Tubi. It's what is it? Something 11. I can't remember. It's all them Detroit actors. Okay. It's a big movie. He actually filmed that Moolah Visions, and he reached out to me. I was on his podcast. Okay. And he was like, hey man, I want to get you in the movie. I don't know what it is. I feel like you can. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I was like, shoot, I actually just shot a movie. I'm talking like, yeah, man, I'm out of the movie. Man, I ain't really did much, you feel me? But he put me in it, and what's crazy, I've been killing it. He done made me, I'm the lead role now. I'm the main character of the TV series. It's called Under Investigation. He changed up everything around me. Wow. And like, he let me bring everybody. I got my team, I got cousins, homeboy, everybody in it. You know what I'm saying? And he got plugs, Netflix, Tubi, Amazon Prime. So I'm saying, that been going good. And I didn't know I'm a natural, like they say. Like ever since I've been shooting, one take. They call me one take shorty. I never mess up. I recreated. He'll give me a line, and I finesse it. He was like, "Dang, that was good. That was like you not overdoing it. Like you killing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You doing it way better than how I wrote it. Word. You know what I'm saying? So I've been killing it. So shout out to Major. Word. You know what I'm saying? He put me in position. Now I got more, and then I got my own movie he helping me with. So it'll be like 4 movies this year, man, that's dropping this year. Like, that's hard. Just like that quick. Yeah, man. And I ain't gonna lie, it kind of scared me because I'm like, I'm an artist, I want to do the music, but that movie been taking over, so it's like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, you gotta go where, you know what I mean? Shit, where the opportunities is coming, you know what I mean? And you doing the acting thing and diving into that world ain't gonna do nothing but open up more lanes for you in the music. You know what I mean? So that's ill, man. Do you believe in like, you know, the whole idea of, you know, putting something out there in the atmosphere, like that energy, and it coming back, you know, because it sounds like it sounds like you manifested that. Yeah, and
and I always say, I ain't gonna lie, I call myself, I say, man, I'm Denzel Jr. Man. Hey. Every time we on the set, you know what I'm saying? Like my boy Black say, every time, real actor. Yeah. Real actor. I just started with a real actor. Yeah. But I actually been killing it, and when I see myself on the camera, like they'll show me my shot, I'm like, dang, like I wasn't expecting me to do that. Right. You know what I'm saying? I really wasn't. I want to be on TV or movies. Like I want to be an artist. Yeah. You feel me? Nah, for sure. But when you got them different, you got a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it's rapping, movies, you play basketball, anything that's bringing in money, that's gonna push you up even faster.
Nah, for sure.
Because you got different revenues and different things you're
Yeah,
doing.
and you master all these different lanes,
Facts.
and then you can step into any one at any time.
In and out, correct.
All right, so I do a little thing I call the manifestation hour, and basically I want to give you the opportunity to manifest, some more like the great things that's, going to be happening for you in your career. Like, what are some things that you looking to manifest to, happen moving forward?
Man, to be honest, man, since I got in this acting, I ain't gonna lie, man, I really, really want to do a movie with Denzel. That's one. You know what I'm saying? Like, he a real big dog. Now that I've been doing it, I feel like I could be in one with him. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I ain't got to be a main character or nothing like that, but that's definitely something I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Of course, everybody want a Grammy, every artist want a Grammy. My dream used to be BET, the BET Awards, win like, what is it called? Rookie of the Year, whatever that is, like Best Artist of the Year, Rookie. I want to win that. Like, freshman, there you go, freshman.
Like the XXL freshman?
Yeah,
or whatever?
all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I just want a lot of accolades. You know what I'm saying?
You familiar with the term EGOT? You hear people talk about EGOT, like where it's like basically like actors, musicians. It's like Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
Oscar definitely. Oh, definitely. That's the biggest. That's the biggest. But definitely Oscar. Man, it's hard to get one of them.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
So to get one of them, you somebody.
Yeah. It's only like a few people that are even in that lane. I think like Jennifer Hudson might be in that lane.
Yeah.
I think.
Is Will Smith in it?
I don't think he is. I think it's only like a few people. It's like a small list. Whoopi Goldberg might be in it. Like it's like a really small, limited list. But it's you know what I mean? Like for somebody in both of those lanes, you know what I mean? It's a crazy accomplishment.
Yeah, that's tough. Like, for me to get that Tony and that Oscar, that'll be that'll be a whole nother world, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel like King. You know what I'm saying? Big dog for real.
So
win. Say that.
So man, what is it in this Florida water, man, that make y'all Florida boys just go anywhere and you know what I mean, be able to really lay the flag down, whether it's in sports or whether it's whatever
Florida,
realm.
we just different, man. I don't know, like Florida, we got the speed when it comes to, athletes. We got the swag.
Yeah.
We just, man, everybody love Florida, man. Every time I take my partners from Florida to Georgia, they be like, man, where you from? You ain't from, they talk country. You ain't from around here.
Yeah.
You ain't from around here. Florida, they love that. I don't know, it's just something about that Florida boy, man. I don't know. I can't really put my hands on it, but I'm him. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I'm
I hear in your music, you represent it to the T.
Fact,
you know what I'm saying?
Fact. And I throw a little Thomasville in there. That's where my roots at. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
Definitely show love.
Word. What else you got coming up? What other music you got coming up or other
I'm actually, as soon as I leave here, I'm actually flying out to Miami. I got a feature with Iceberg from Miami. We waiting on Trick, man, to respond, man. Trick busy cooking in Sundays right now, man. You know, we trying to get him on the song too. We got a song, the On and On. I don't know if you know about that. On and On and On. I remade it. Yeah. And Iceberg is originally on it. So I redid it. He on it, and we waiting for Trick to respond to see if he gonna jump on it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Word. And then the movies, I got a movie coming out called Art of War that I'm doing with my partner Perfect. Okay. It's pretty much about like 4 foster kids grew up in a home, and then they just bad jits in the hood. They don't know what they're gonna do when they grow up, and then they end up being robbers. You know what I'm saying? Big robbers, like professional. You know what I'm saying? Not just like no jack boys or nothing, like not even banks, trucks, like big people, hitmen, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Just giving a little details on what's going on. But pretty much like the movies, man. I got a lot going on, man. I ain't gonna lie, I stay busy, man.
Yeah. And I saw you posted about a series, Ain't No Love.
Oh yeah. That's a part of the Under Investigation that we shooting. This on 1 season, 6 episodes of that. So each episode is something different. You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy, man, I done tapped in in the acting, but I'm actually like helping direct too.
Oh, word, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm putting scenes together. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, this might be my lane, man. I don't
Word,
know. And
yeah.
it just come to me so quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. I mean, as a creative, like I said, it's dope to master these different lanes. And,
Right.
and then it's dope, you know, because I feel like as we grow, like in our careers and all that, like bro, for me, I started out in journalism. Then I moved into digital marketing and started working at like record labels and all that. I was running the digital marketing department at Def Jam for a while.
Okay.
And then ended up getting back into journalism, and I never thought in my like when I stepped away from journalism that
you
I'd
would
be
be
getting
back.
back in.
That's
And
how I
now
am.
I'm in journalism knee deep, you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Even probably even more than I was when I first started.
Right,
And it's just ill, you know what I mean? Because you know,
Sometimes you step away from things and it'll pull you right back. Like
Yeah.
they say, if it's meant to be, you know what I'm saying, you'll get back to
Yeah.
it. That like me with the music. I probably left like 3-4 times and get what I
Yeah.
kept coming. You know what I'm saying? It was just meant to be. You know what
And
I'm
then sometimes we need to do that to maybe strengthen ourselves in other areas to then make it to where you can really, you know, conquer.
And going off, piggybacking off of that, somebody told me the other day, they said, they just asked me a random question. It was like random. It was like, hey, why you think you keep coming back? I was like, what you mean? You keep coming back to the music. They say sometimes you went in a slump, as you say. I said, yeah, you know, artists go in a slump, they can't think of nothing. And he was like, I feel like you had to go through more things in life to have something to talk about. And I was like, damn, that's you got a point. I had to go through more things, whether it's baby mama drama, family problems, you know what I'm saying, street shit,
For sure.
you know what I'm saying, financial issues, struggle, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. You definitely gotta have a story. You can't just be a perfect person and think somebody's gonna listen to you. Somebody who got a perfect life not gonna listen to a street person who, you know what I'm saying, was sleeping on the streets. Like it ain't, you know what I'm saying, somebody who's sleeping on the streets don't wanna hear no Fresh Prince of Bel-Air type shit, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta, you know what I'm saying, they wanna hear something that they can relate to. So I had to go through things and put it in my music.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what
for
I'm
sure,
saying? Like,
for sure.
small thing, because at first all I cared about was rapping about the women. That's it. But they was like, that's it? That's all you want to be? That type of artist? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, but it wasn't doing nothing for me. So I had to go through more stuff, lose homeboys. And what's crazy, Goldmouf told me one day, he said, hey, I'm telling you now, the bigger you get and the more you do, all them homeboys, you gonna lose some of them, and you ain't gonna know why. So I'm like, oh nah, man, all my dogs rocking with me. Man, I'm telling you, bro, that was probably like 2 years ago. Man, I probably done lost so many homeboys. Like it's crazy.
Because
he said they wasn't supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? You got to get rid of who wasn't supposed to be there.
You got to weed them out.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Because as you start elevating, your mind frame gonna be different.
Yes.
You're not gonna be into some of the same stuff you was into at a certain point. And a person that's not growing, they can't understand or can't even fathom the thought of, all right, like this was my partner since we was jits. Like we, you know what I mean? We did this, did that together, and now, bruh, act like he don't even know what that is.
They can't help me grow.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
They can't help me grow.
And that's the only way that you can grow is, I mean, you know, like.
And maturity though.
Yeah.
Like my homeboy, they mess with me all the time. They say I'm bougie now. Like, I say, man, that's how y'all feel. They say I'm bougie now, but you know, I just want better for myself and my kids. You feel me? I'm not the same person I was years ago as a jit running the streets. You know what I'm saying? Think about dumb stuff to get into. You know what I'm saying? I avoid that. You know what I'm saying? Drama, bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I try to avoid that. I want better for myself, you know what I'm saying? I'm a very clean person, a very detailed person. You know what I'm saying? So everything has to make sense to me. You know what I'm saying?
No, I can
so that's how I get down.
What's one of the biggest life lessons that you've learned to this day?
Man, staying humble. Staying humble. Cause man, being humble get you a long way. Being cocky, it'll hurt you. It'll hurt you in some places, you know what I'm saying? So being humble definitely got me to where I am. You know, some people still see it as cocky, but I'm not cocky, I'm confident. like, in what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Cocky is like, I'm him, I'm beneath, you beneath me. You know what I'm saying? I don't act like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I joke with all my partners, you know what I'm saying? I bring them everything I do. Every movie I'm involved with, everything, people reached out, they just wanted me. But I brought everybody with me.
Yeah.
They on the screen. You feel me? I could have been selfish, you feel me? Could have been cocky by myself. Oh, I'm doing this, what you doing? But I didn't, I brought everybody with me. You know what I'm saying?
How difficult is it to, as you elevate, to then also understand that everybody can't come, everybody can't go?
I just definitely understood that everybody, it might hurt you that you can't bring certain people, but you just got to roll with it, because if you can't bring them and you sitting back with them because you can't bring them, you ain't going nowhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to, I mean, how I feel, you got to leave them behind. You never know. Like years later, you might circle the block.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Come get them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Word.
That's it.
And what else you got coming up, bro? Like, what else you wanna talk about?
I got a couple features, you know. One of them I can't mention. My manager said I can't mention. A big feature, like a bit dog, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, he want me to, he actually in the A.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm supposed to meet up with him tomorrow, actually.
Oh, okay. Word.
You know what I'm saying? And link up with him, but they want to like top secret. I don't care,
sure.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know, I got to listen to management.
You can't let out all the news. You can't
Facts.
you know.
And then I'm trying to open up a couple of businesses, accounting business, food trucks.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to touch a couple of things, you know, to bring that bag in. You feel me? Like, I'm a real businessman. Like it gotta make sense to me. I don't just jump out there. Oh, it sounds good. Oh, they say do this, you gonna make money. I don't go off when he say, she say. I do my research. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to venture off doing different things. But it was the music. I'm gonna be real with you. But I don't know, that movie, it's just taking over. It's just taking over, man. I love it. It's long hours now.
Oh yeah.
So if you ain't dedicated, now I see what Denzel don't talk. You gotta be dedicated with that movie stuff, man. You can go all night. You gotta spend the night, 2 hours of sleep, like. But hey, man, I'm here, man. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So TTA, what's some advice that you would give to an upcoming, aspiring artist, actor, or somebody that's just aspiring to do anything great?
Man, if you really want it, like, you just got to stay at it, be consistent, never like take breaks like I did. You know what I'm saying? I took the long road. You know what I'm saying? Some people say don't take the easy route, but sometimes a short ride is good if you're doing the right thing on that short road. You know what I'm saying? Like, I took the long road and I stumps. You know what I'm saying? I ran into brick walls, hard-headed. I was being hard-headed, thinking I know everything.
Yeah.
That knocked me back 10 steps back, and I gotta, you know what I'm saying, come back up. But to give some advice, man, stay humble, stay consistent, and really want it. And never take no for an answer. Somebody could turn you down 1,000,000 times, but that 1,000,001 time, all right, come on, you in there.
Yeah.
Cause you can't just go in there and they turn you down, all right, I'm gonna go be a painter. It ain't gonna work like that. If that's your dream and that's what you want, you gotta keep going. I done ran into a lot of doors that was no. Those doors closed, another one open. That door closed, another one open.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the movie stuff. That door open, I never knew I was supposed to walk through that door. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm doing both. And now, what's crazy, I was doing the music, yeah, I'm doing good. But once I open that movie door, now it's pushing both at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So that's my advice too.
Word. That's
Everybody
what's up,
come
man.
up.
And you got any shout outs you want to give before we get out of here?
Yeah, man, I want to shout out JDB. I know my manager, he gonna cry about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna shout out JDB, my mom and my daddy. You know what I'm saying? Pops, I ain't mean to talk bad about you, but you know I'm gonna keep it real, just like you would. You feel me? My team, my family behind me, my kids. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, God first. You know what I'm saying? Straight like that. That's how
I can dig it. And before we get out of here, I want to ask you, what's something that fulfills you outside of money?
Outside of money?
Yeah.
Family, man. I'm big on family. Like, I can have a bad day, I can just be around my family and play spades. Man, that's gonna make my whole day.
Yeah.
Straight up. Straight
No,
up.
I can dig it. No, that's
Yes,
real.
sir.
That's
Yes,
the
sir.
realest right there, fam.
Facts,
First.
facts.
That's what's up, man. TTA, appreciate you, man, pulling up and jumping off the porch
Appreciate
with
you.
us, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that money talk, till you hear that. This that Lux talk, talking big racks. I'm with chicken talk, golden is that.